Hey traders, welcome back to another Sunday video where we go over trading setups for the week ahead as well as some of my current or existing trades that I'm in. So first, I like to cover the yearly performance that I've been experienced so far in this year. You can see I have had 6 total profitable months so far. This one is still pending, of course, because we're still in July, and 1 down month in the month of February. Context, I do like to go through 2022. I had a really rough year. 2021 was an incredible year. 2020 was an incredibly good year. Now, the point I want to make about this 22, people always ask what happened this year. The markets were down tremendously, and I am generally long oriented when it comes to indices and gold, which is a lot of what I trade on this account. And so, yeah, down year, it does happen. Believe it or not, it is possible, especially if you trade something like me where I trade indices. So I capture a lot of the upside, but that also means that the negative is that market crashes can be really hard for my trading. So anyways, that's that. Let's also take a look at the overall cumulative P&L of this account. This is a live brokerage account. I've been trading it since 2020, and I've grown it from a very, very small, well, not a very small, a much smaller account size than it is today. It's up $145,000, give or take, and that's about 147% on the account percentage basis. So anyways, let's jump in to some setups, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what's been going on that helped to gain so much this month here in July. Let's take a look. All right, guys, so I've got NASDAQ pulled up, and on the NASDAQ this week, we absolutely saw a killer move. And this actually gave me one of my best trades so far this year, actually, in a singular trade. Now, I've had, plenty of like win streaks and lose streaks and stuff like that, but this particular move was incredible. I was able to get in on this at the bottom of sort of this consolidation, but the context was on the 4-hour chart, a longer term uptrend was in play. I picked it up, and it just did not stop moving up. So we had a beautiful one-directional move for pretty much most of this past week. Now, why does that... why didn't I take profit sooner? Many traders, guys, and this is this part about my strategy that has a pro and a con, okay? If you watch my videos, there are pros and cons to every trading strategy. No trading strategy is just con-free. Everything has pros and cons. The pros of my strategy is that when moves like this happen, I'm able to capture usually a tremendous portion of ginormous moves like this, right? The con is that a lot of times I get trailed out and something else happens. Like, for example, this market made a move up here, and many traders were saying you should take profits or take money off the table. And I know my strategy, so I'm not going to do what comments on YouTube say. No offense to my viewers. I really appreciate you guys, but I've been doing this for a number of years, and I don't let YouTube comments kind of dictate what I do with my trading. Anyways, there are times where I don't take profits, and then it just does this, and I get trailed out for break even, or in some cases even a loss. So there are pros and cons, but this past week was a grand slam week in terms of my trading, which was awesome to see, and always nice to have that. Now, of course, I trailed stops, and you can see this rejection bar here on Friday. That was a red alarm for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and move out of my NASDAQ trade. It did break on the lower time frames, this level support here, which got me out of my trade, and so for now, I'm on the sidelines again with NASDAQ, which is perfectly fine. I think this move has really extended itself, and while I am willing to look to get back in, I'd like to see a pullback to some of these support zones that I've marked on my chart. So that's my agenda. One of my top trading setups going into this week is certainly going to be looking to revisit the NASDAQ if I can find an appropriate entry. Now, why was I so bullish NASDAQ? Let's take a look at that. We can see on the EDGEFINDER, we actually got a really, really strong buy rating on the EDGEFINDER, and I want to go through this with you guys as to why that may be. So we get a plus score of 6. And if you've never seen our software here, the EDGEFINDER, first of all, context, my company, if you're newer to my channel, I do have this YouTube channel and I trade, but I also run a software company that builds tools for traders. My background is in software engineering. And so when I combine that with trading, I started building tools years ago, and it's upgraded now to, a team of people that build tools for traders to try and bring sort of institutional level stuff to the average retail trader. That's kind of the purpose of our company. Anyways, so there's a scoring system here that takes into account all these different metrics that you see across the top of the screen and automatically scores it for you to give you a bias on specific currency pairs, assets like the indices or gold. You can see gold also has a buy rating. Anyways, the scoring just adds up everything that you see on this row and gives you a score. The higher the score, the more bullish. The lower the score, the more bearish. So what we have for NASDAQ specifically and S&P, retail is very, very short. So that actually gives us a bullish reading. Let's go dig into that really quick, and then we'll take a look at seasonality as well. And I'll take a look at retail sentiment, and I know that some of you guys might not be interested in the NASDAQ, but hopefully you can take a look at plenty of things. So here's majors. Just a quick look at the retail sentiment as we do go into this week. It seems like for things like the pound USD and the euro, retail traders are really piling a short on. And if you're looking at the other side, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, retail traders are very bullish, seems like on the dollar yen as well. So this is kind of a red alert to me. Okay, retail traders are very bullish on the dollar. I probably need to be on the other side of that, or at least consider the risks to taking trade alongside the same thing as retail traders, which we know, generally speaking, this is a very rough cut number, 90% of retail traders tend to lose money. So if they're all buying the dollar, I'm going to be very cautious to do the same. Anyways, let's go back to our initial thought here. We'll take a look at indices, and you can see that as these indices rally higher, it does seem like retail is piling on a big short position. And this actually gives me extra confirmation to be long, because again, they're on the wrong side of the trade very often. Now, I do want to come back to seasonality, but while we're on this topic, what we're looking at, guys, is we're looking at what is called SA. This is what we call SA, or sentiment analysis, and analyzing what crowds are doing. This is the quote unquote dumb money crowd. That's what they're doing. They're shorting indices on average. Okay, what about what's going on here? Well, this is the institutional money. This is the smart money tracker. And this tracks basically the COT report for us. We could take a look at what institutional money is doing. And I do want to filter here for just a second, US 30, SPX, and NAS. Okay, so here's the thing. You might say, well, look, it seems like institutional money is shorting, which actually they have been in a short for the S&P and the Dow for quite a while. But NASDAQ has been a little bit more flipped. In fact, let's take a look. Where are we at? NASDAQ had an increase in longs and a decrease in shorts in the most recent weekly data. This is week-to-week data, okay? And look at this. We had more buys come in. So institutional money is getting more long on the NASDAQ, and it's getting more short. And it's getting less short at the same time. This can be a bit confusing. Take some time, I promise. If you watch the videos for a while, you'll start to get it. We pull this data in, we analyze it, and I do it on videos pretty often. So still a net long position on NASDAQ, so I do like that. That's why I've been trading NASDAQ specifically. But the S&P 500 did also experience an increase in longs. What's kind of sketchy to me is that the Dow actually is diverging. We're seeing an increase in the number of shorts. So something key to pay attention to. If you guys would like to take a look at some other things, I'm going to add a couple of things. Here's gold. We'll take gold. Let's take the indices off for a second, just for those of you guys who would like to see this. We've got gold on the chart right now. Let's take a look at silver, platinum. So here's your metals. Big increase in longs, it seems, and slight increase in shorts. When both of these are rising, by the way, guys, this just means that interest in trading these assets is quite up, right? You're getting increases in contracts being traded. Anyways, speaking of that, let's take a look at the metals market. Here's gold, which had a really phenomenal week. Now, many traders, of course, are going to ask, Nick, what do you think? Is gold going higher? And in my personal opinion, yes. I do think that we are on the cusp of central banks, especially here in the United States, really letting off the brakes, right? We've had monetary policy very much working against the stock market and gold as well for the last year or two. So I'm really looking at this and I'm saying, okay, well, last week we had what was probably the best inflation report that we've seen in 12 months. Inflation, CPI, core, and headline, as well as PPI, all came out very, very good. Okay, it was a smash hit. That was what caused my NASDAQ trade to go to the moon. And I ended up, by the way, the profit on that trade, the NASDAQ trade, was about $3,800, which for me on this account is pretty nice. So that's a good move. And now the question is, what about gold? Is gold the next one to pop? And I think that you have to ask yourself a couple things. Well, first of all, are you a day trader or are you a swing trader? If you're a swing trader, let's start there. If you're a swing trader, for me, I like the idea of a nice pullback, perhaps down into this 1940, 1936 range. We have past support looking left, right? We have a nice upward trend line here. We have a breakout going on the higher time frames off the daily, right? Take a look at the daily real quick. Daily chart looking okay, right? Daily chart showing this breakout going on like that. Okay, so technicals look kind of good on the 4-hour chart. Day traders, let's go lower. Here's the 1-hour chart. If you're trading this momentum and you think this momentum has potential, we ended out the week sitting on this level of support. Day traders, 2 things to think about. If you don't care about whether it's short or long, if you are really just a pure price action trader, which I know many of my viewers are, in fact, let me ask you guys a question as we go through this. Question in the audience. I've been doing this on my videos recently, and you guys seem to love doing it. So answer this question for me in the chat. Q&A time, okay? In the chat, do you guys use pure technicals, or do you use a combination of fundamentals and technicals? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys use pure technicals, and do you or do you also include fundamentals in your trading? Also, let us know your time frame if you'd like to. You don't have to, but of course, these are just fun questions, and it's nice to poll the community, and everybody likes to chime in so that we can all see what everybody is thinking. So anyways, day traders, like I said, we're at a range. What I think you could probably pay attention to is this 1955 mark and this 1963 mark. If this level breaks, and you can see it broke previously, but it was unable to capture those gains, is the word I like to use, right? Capture as in a close underneath this considerable level of support would have been very significant. But we've failed to really close decisively under this range. Now, you may say, well, what about right there? Well, zones are not perfect, and if I want to get very, very technical, if I want to try and make a perfect zone, it's controversial, because do you draw this? Do you draw this? Do you draw this? My point here is you'll know if it's a pretty decisive break. For me, it usually involves getting, this is a cool trick that I've used for a while. Draw it from the highs, draw it from the lows, your fibs, and you should see something like a 38.2. That's where we'd probably need to go in order to really consider this broken. Okay? Cool trick. Feel free to use it. Again, just send me 25 cents every time you do. And yeah, I'm just kidding. Of course, breaks, retests could be something to look out for if you want to trade that momentum back down to that higher time frame zone that we talked about on the 4-hour. The other flip side could be a breakout to the upside. If gold does stay strong, which I am preferential, I'm not sure if that's a word, to the upside, right? So big moves up, breakouts, I'd be more interested in this than trying to trade this move here. Now, it's not that if you're a day trader, like I said, you might have opportunity there. I'm more of a swing trader. I do short-term swing trading, so it kind of crosses over between day trading and swing trading, but that's where I'm at. So yeah. Also, to go back to gold again, gold is still looking pretty good on the changes long. We saw, still a very heavy preference to the long side for institutional money, big money, smart money, hedge funds. Doesn't matter what you want to call them. They are very long gold right now. So that gives me extra confirmation. Gold is also on the watch list as a buy. So I'm very interested in buys this week on gold if we're looking at this. And again, smart money tracker, retail sentiment. We've got some nice confirmations there that are setting up. By the way, guys, if you do not have access to the EDGEFINDER, I do want to say something. We are currently about to end our 55% off sale. I'm sorry, our 50% off sale. You can actually get 50% off of the EDGEFINDER. Check this out. I'll show you guys on the screen right now. So this is just a little bit of a promo if you've been watching my videos for a while and you'd like to take advantage of the 50% off, half off the usual price of the EDGEFINDER. We'll be going back up soon. You get access to all of the data that I use in my videos, the smart money tracker, the retail sentiment indicator, the bank signals, our watch list, signals for 30 plus assets and pairs, and it does come with a one-time payment. We don't do monthly subscriptions or anything like that, just because, personally, I really don't like them. I prefer, get your payment done, you have the tool, and you can use it for as long as you're trading. let me just say this. This tool is not meant for people who are not seriously investing into their trading career. This is a professional grade tool that has been worked on every single day for over a year and a half by myself and Frank. We're 7-year trading veterans. We have background in software. Like, this is the best possible tool that we could put together, and again, it's never stopped improving since we've originally dropped it, and it will continue to get better and better. What I will say is that if you want access to the software, the price of a one-time fee to use something for years to come that could help find you better trading setups is worth every penny. And to be completely transparent, at this point, we have invested in all of the time, labor, design, development, everything. We're probably invested more than $200,000. Now, of course, it has more than paid for itself. But I do want to say that if you are thinking about getting the software, it is an excellent investment into your trading if this stuff seems like it would be helpful to you. And I do want to say that if you click the link down below in the description to get access to the software, there's plenty of information for you to read about. You can also request a trial or set up a call with us. We are very booked on trials and calls, so you may need to book one in advance. But if you want to set up a call with one of my team members to go over the software, we do offer that. Feel free to use the links down below in the description to find out more information about that. So yes, take advantage of the 50% off sale. It will be ending very, very soon, so do not miss out on that. If you've been thinking about it, all of the information will be down below in the description. And as you saw on the screen, you can use code YTVIP if you'd like to go ahead and just get access to your copy today. Again, it would be, it's an investment. So please understand, we're not trying to sell this to just anybody. We want people who are seriously interested in their trading and investing for the long-term success to be using our tool. And that is, I speak genuinely because it is an investment. And if you're not serious about this stuff, please do not buy our software. If you are very serious, I highly think it's worth it. Anyways, euro dollar, another one to talk about here. Huge breakout and kind of a frustrating pair, if I'm being honest. The reason I say frustrating is because this thing has had no significant pullbacks since breaking out. Okay. And I'm not too worried about it because I was able to capture a lot of upside this past week, but this one was a monster. Euro dollar was a beast last week. And it did break briefly and retest this zone, though I did not capture it myself. So congrats to anybody who did. This zone broke out beautifully, retested, and just went, right? It just really went. I mean, that's 255 pips in a week for euro dollar. Very, very impressive moves there. Anyways, so euro dollar still looks strong, probably due for a pullback in my personal opinion, though I wouldn't be shorting it. Okay, so how would you play it? Well, I'd be having to wait. So this is far away, so really unlikely to get there right away. But if it does form sort of a higher low kind of concept, we get something like this going, perhaps we'll get something there. But again, this is looking just overextended for me, so I probably can't trade this one. Let's take a look at pound dollar. Pound dollar, similar story, but we did start to see a bit of a retracement there on Friday. I do have some zones marked up here, so if we get, we could get our fibs out. Say the 38.2% retracement starts to look interesting. Pound dollar looks very, very strong. And I don't think it's on the watch list. Oh, actually, there are some pound pairs. Pound yen, pound CAD, pound Aussie. Okay, so there is. Let's take a look at pound yen. Pound JPY is one that I personally like to trade. Let's take a look at this guy right here. Bounced off a longer term support zone. Here is the daily chart. Beautiful upward trend, right? Found support. Here's your 4-hour chart. Found support, broke out, retested, hit that, and kept going. Let's take a look at where we currently are. Resistance here, potentially now turning support. So this is probably a 1-hour chart trade even. Yep, so looks like a 38.2. So price did tag 182.27, pulled back. If it does come into like this 50% level, this actually looks really, really good to me this week. Pound yen looks attractive. I would say I'm interested in potentially taking that one long. if we do get the pullback this week. Again, pound yen off the watch list, gets a +3. Not as high of a score as things like gold and the indices right now, but still, pound pairs look attractive. I'd say pound Aussie, pound CAD, not ones that I usually trade personally, but happy to look at them. Starting to see some breaks. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. 4-hour chart, still very strong overall. We did find a bit of a support zone here. Pound CAD, oh my goodness, pound CAD is flying. Seems like the, what happened to the CAD? CAD, yen took a beating. Let's just do CAD USD. I know it's not the right pair, but CAD down against the dollar. Very, very interesting. Anyways, on the sell side, Euro Pound is an interesting one to me. Euro Pound, let's zoom in here a little bit. Went from a down, like a straight down market. A bit confusing here because it did break back up. Had kind of like a blowout and then just collapsed back down. Now kind of back in a range bound market, it seems like. So you've got things like this 85.80. Probably just not. So here's the thing. This is not the worst setup I've ever seen by any means, but probably not the best one either. And again, there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking at this week, so I'm not going to like, you know, if I see Euro Pound and it's not moving exactly the way I like it, there's just a lot of opportunities that I'm trading. Gold, NAS, pound yen looked decent, right? So those are probably 3 of my top trading setups. Also, by the way, guys, I should mention, we do have a Discord channel as well. I know I mentioned the EDGEFINDER, but we do also have a community. If you're looking to join the community, I'll show you that real quick. All right, so on Friday, I put out a community tab post on my channel talking about my, it was a picture of Frank and I working on the whiteboard, and we were actually working on some of the EDGEFINDER's scoring mechanisms. We've been working just long hours recently trying to improve the scoring of the EDGEFINDER, and it is no easy feat, I will be honest. But anyways, I made the post, one of my other employees took a picture of us standing there looking at the board, and I posted it because I thought it was a cool picture. And in that picture, Frank and I we're discussing, specifically we were talking about the inflation scoring and the CPI numbers, and we want to add core CPI and PPI to this software. We have big plans to continue to improve this thing, and we're rolling those updates out over time. Anyways, I mentioned that, you know, to me, what has expedited my process is having someone like Frank to discuss stuff in my trading. This is a genuine push, I promise, for the Discord channel. If you're somebody who is fascinated and loves markets the way that myself and Frank and many of our community members do, I want to encourage you to consider joining us inside of the Discord. This is not a free service, and you trust me when I say, when it comes to a Discord community, you don't want a free Discord community. Here's why. Free Discord communities bring the good and the bad. And what I mean by that is they bring some great people and traders, but they also bring a massive number of spammers, scammers, and people who are not actually very invested at all. They can't even whip out, $50 or $100 to join a genuine community. So I do want to say, if you are seriously interested in joining a community of traders, it is something that is available to you. This community down below in the description is linked. And yes, it is a pitch, but I genuinely mean it. It is worth the money. If you are serious about your trading, we don't sell stuff that we don't genuinely believe in. We build software tools that we use ourselves, and we have a community that we work hard to manage. And I say we because it's Frank and I who do most of the management of the trading side of the community. We also have staff that help with memberships. Anyways, here was the NASDAQ trade. I mentioned I'd show you. Actually, I take it back. It wasn't 3,800. It was 37.35. That was the ending result on the NASDAQ trade that I showed you guys earlier when we got trailed out. Frank also has been trading. I think he's been trading gold. Yeah, he caught a gold move this week, which was awesome. So if you guys would like to join our community, again, it is not for people who are not serious. Please do not join us if you're looking to just copy and paste trades and do no work. But if you are seriously interested, which I imagine you probably are if you made it this far in the video, if you're listening to 24 minutes of me talk about markets, you clearly have the same disease as I do, which is a fascination for financial markets, how they function, and how to find strategies to trade better. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching today. If you did enjoy, hit that thumbs up button. Remember, join us in the community. It is worth the money. I promise. It's very worth it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your week ahead, and we'll see you next time.